Okay, so I don't know where I'm going to put the clips of KJ Appa talking about Archie and Betty, Barchi. So I don't know if I'm going to put it at the beginning or the end. I think I'm just going to put all the clips of him talking about Barchi at the end. So instead of putting it in my video, because I don't really know where exactly to put it, because I'm kind of talking throughout the whole thing. But at the end, I'm going to put the tweets. So just make sure I'm sorry. When you got a burp and you can't talk. So, sorry. But at the end, not the tweets, at the end I'm going to put, like, the clips and stuff so you can see what he said. I'm sure you've already heard it. But just, I want to put it in the video because, it kind of just gives me that thumbs up and that just thinking. And, maybe we'll give you some more hope if you're losing it. Because do not lose hope. Archie's coming, man. Season 3, best season yet. Archie, man. So I'm going to include the clips at the end. So stay tuned. Greetings, Earthlings. Welcome to Planet and Alien here on YouTube. Weird little alien here. Welcome to the family if you're new. If you're not new, hello again. So, okay, as you can tell from the title of this video, it's Archie and Betty related from Riverdale. I got asked to make this video, which I'm going to insert the comment right here because I don't think she will mind, hopefully. So, yes, she asked me if I would make a video on what I think will happen with Archie in Season 3 and how I think their story will go in Season 3. Now, I first want to say, hello, okay, sorry guys. So I first want to say that I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just, you know what? I had the same thing with the 100 and I was let down a couple times, but I don't know, for some reason with Riverdale, I really trust the writers, and I really trust what they're doing, and I find understanding in a lot of what they do in the show, and who they pair up in the show, and I kind of have my own way of how it's going to play out, and how I see it playing out, and I don't know if it's just because I have high hopes in the writers, because, they really haven't let me down or disappointed me. Of course, yes, they haven't given much Archie and Betty scenes since 209 when they kissed, and considering they are best friends who live next to each other, that is very odd. But then again, they each have their own issues. The Black Hood, Hiram Lodge, Archie was losing himself, Veronica was trying to get herself back, so it was a lot of complications. However, it was still sad, even when they were in a scene together, all they were doing is standing next to each other, and, it is kind of disappointing, so that did suck, but I still have high hopes for Season 3. Like, I don't know, I just feel it, I really feel it, Season 3, I feel like, is the perfect time to start Triangle, but see, I don't know if, Hiram Lodge, I don't know if he is a character that's going to be staying for a while, or if he's going to be taken down. Because I feel like Season 3 would be the takedown of Hiram Lodge, not to mention getting Archie off this murder charge that he didn't do. And thankfully, Andre, I hate to say it this way, but thankfully Andre's not still alive, so he can't testify for Hiram saying, oh yeah, I witnessed him killing the guy, but I'm sure they can get anybody else to fucking lie and say they witnessed Archie shooting him for money. I'm sure they do it. So yeah, I feel like Season 3 could be the takedown of Hiram Lodge. I feel like that's the story for Season 3, I feel like is going to be, of course, the battle between Hiram Lodge and Archie Andrews, but also Hiram and the Southside Serpent, because of what he is doing. And he's only getting more into shadier shit. He's legit just trying to destroy Riverdale. It's not even the South Side he's trying to destroy. It's legit every side he's trying to destroy by this point. Honestly, whatever he can do to get what he wants, he'll do, and then, do whatever he wants after once he gets what he wants. But, yeah, so Hiram Lodge. So I feel like Season 3 is really going to focus on the Hiram Lodge and the Archie, and Archie being framed for murder. I feel like that's something that's not going to be wrapped up in just, a few episodes. I feel like that might go on for a little bit. And I kind of feel like Season 3 is the takedown of Hiram Lodge. I don't know. I don't know if he's a character that's just going to continuously be in the show, or if he's a character that's eventually going to come to his end, whether it be dead or alive. However, I feel like if he is going, if this character is not, for sure here to stay for, let's just say it goes on for 8 seasons, then I would think season 3 is the takedown of Hiram Lodge. And I really do believe that season 3 is the perfect time to start the triangle. I really do. Not to mention, emotions are going to be running high. I mean, you have Veronica's dad framing Archie for murder, who's best friends with Jughead, who's even more best friends with Betty. And I'm going to include in this a bunch of clips from OzCon where KJ talked about Archie and Betty and stuff. And yes, I know he talked about Varchie too, but so, like, can I not just focus on the Varchie? Like, I mean, he said stuff about, you know what it is? It's what he said we haven't heard from anyone really, especially Lily. Like, I'm going to keep saying that because especially her. But we really haven't heard anything like KJ said. Like, he really gave us some fucking, like, hints and in-depth look into it. Like, he really fed us well. Like, I am extremely happy. That's the first time in so long we've really got a lot of Barchi content and talk about. Like, a lot of stuff, a lot of Barchi talked about. And, like, I'm so excited. But he even said, of course, right now they are friends, you know. But what's so funny, what I love about it is KJ even himself says he can't choose between Betty and Veronica just like Archie can. And I find that to be odd because it's like, oh, there's no feelings between Betty and Archie. Oh, they're just best friends. The kiss meant nothing. But if Archie can't choose between Betty and Veronica, doesn't that imply that he has feelings for both of them, which is why he can't choose? Because if he loved Veronica with his whole heart, wouldn't he just be like, oh, I choose Veronica? But since he questions that and has these feelings for Betty, it shows you that there are feelings there. I mean, KJ himself said he can't choose just like Archie can. And to me, that means Archie has feelings for, of course, not only Veronica, his girlfriend, but his best friend Betty, you know? And I love that because it's like, it's telling you, like, there are feelings there. Like, you can't deny it. Like, why would he say that? Like, oh, I can't choose just like Archie. And it's like, oh, so Archie's stuck between choosing, you know? So, I mean, it makes sense. But, yeah, I just wanted to include that a little bit. I'm going to include it in here, but I thought that was interesting. But with season 3, I definitely feel like the triangle will start up. I don't know. I really feel like season 3 is the best time to start the triangle. Like, we've had a lot of complicated, dramatic, crazy shit happen these first 2 seasons. And I think season 3, it'd be nice not to really slow it down and make it boring, I'm saying, but to kind of slow it down and not make it so, like, crazy and, like, I don't know, like, I feel like season 3 is not going to be as crazy as season 1 and 2, where it was like, who killed Jason Blossom, and, oh, who's killing all these people for their sins, you know, and not to mention, we still have season 3, Hal Cooper, you know, and the fallout from him being the Black Hood, and, you know, Betty Cooper and Polly Cooper being super fucking creepy because she's in a cult, and Chick still not being found and clearly still alive. Like, if they, like, just have him show up in a grave somewhere, like, maybe he buried him. Like, no, I think he's either working with him or he's still alive. Like, that's what I'm going with. I don't think he's dead. There's no way. Like, no, come on. There's no reason for you to, like, drag it out if he is dead. Like, you would have just shown him dead. But, I think that's something that's gonna, but that's interesting that that was never brought up either, like, with Betty, you know, and how, you know, when they were talking, and he was like, who am I? And she's like, the Black Hood, and they were talking about who he killed. It's like, Chick was never really brought up, and it's interesting because Chick is something I think that weighed heavy on Betty and who she was, because when she gave Chick to the Black Hood, I think she felt a piece of her kind of slip away, a piece of her humanity, I guess, in a way, because in that moment, I think she realized she kind of stooped down to the Black Hood level, and she kind of realized, oh shit, what did I do? Like, not saying Chick didn't deserve to be handed over to the Black Hood, because he did, but I think she really had that shit, like, maybe I am like the Black Hood, you know? And then finding out it's your dad even more so makes you think, what if I am like the Black Hood? But she's regaining herself, and she's telling him, I'm nothing like you, which is true. I'm going to be totally honest, I believe Polly is exactly like Hal. I could see Polly being a serial killer, because she is so fucking creepy. Like, ever since she went to that, like, I didn't really like her to begin with because she was kind of bitchy and it really just fucking pissed me off. Like, bitch, why are you such an asshole? Like, I understand you were sent away and stuff, but you don't need to be a bitch to Betty who, like, legit helped you and all this shit. But, yeah, so I've never really liked her, but now her being in a cult and her just being super creepy and her not really even caring that Hal murdered these people, she just wants to forgive him. But it's like, you ran away because you were worried the Black Hood was going to kill your babies, and yet now that you find out, oh, it was my dad, and yeah, he might have killed my babies, but he didn't because I ran away, well, I'm going to forgive him. Like, really? Would you fucking forgive him? Like I understand, like, you're in a cult, like, oh, you must forgive, okay? But it's like, no, 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 your dad's a fucking murderer. He murdered innocent people. I mean, Jesus, he didn't even go after people with big sins. That will forever be my biggest thing with season 2, is he didn't go after anyone with big sins. Like, I want to see the big sins. Like, why didn't you go after Hiram or Hermione? Like, damn, like, there were so many big sinners out there, and it's like, boom. I will say, oh, my girl Kimberly, she said on one of my YouTube videos, she was talking about how she hopes that, sorry, I thought I had lipstick on my teeth. She hopes that Hal and Archie have a scene of him in prison, you know, Hal and Archie visiting him, which I really hope for. Like, she said that Lachlan, like, responded and he had his fingers crossed, as did KJ, which, oh my God, please, please, please. I think it's only necessary to have that. I mean, he did shoot his father the first time, you know, and he did spare his life, which is another thing. Kimberly was like, what if, like, you know, when they do see each other and, you know, he visits him in prison, he says, the only reason you're still alive is because of my daughter. And I'm just like, oh my God, girl. Like, if that was said, I would die, because it is kind of true. Why was Archie spared? But then again, so was Kevin, you know? And it's like I've said, I understand the Jughead reasoning, but the Veronica, I don't know. You know, I think, because if he really wanted her to feel alone and isolated, wouldn't he cut out Kevin and Archie? But maybe he already knew that Kevin and Betty were kind of butting heads because Kevin was doing this shit in the woods that he shouldn't be doing when the Black Hood is on the loose, and Betty was worried for him, you know, when they had that kind of little fight, and, you know, weren't talking for a little bit. So maybe, you know, Hal knew about that, or, yeah, because it's like, he's gay, and wouldn't that be a sin too? Like, that's what I don't get. Like, that's like a huge sin. And it's like, I'm not saying I want Kevin dead, but like, isn't that odd? Like, I don't know. I just feel like the sins he went after weren't, like, the sins, okay, Miss Grundy and like adultery and drugs and stuff, yeah, it makes sense, but it should have been a little more like dramatic. Like, Hermione should have been the one, because she's more the adulterer, and Miss Grundy, of course, deserves to die. And then, of course, Moose and Midge, I mean, you took down the Sugar Man. Well, this was after, but I mean, if you were trying to take down the Sugar Man to end these drugs to begin with, then why did you have to shoot Moose and Midge and then kill Midge? You know, like I understand it, but it's just like, dude, there were so many bigger sinners in this town, and you're not even one to fucking talk. He had an affair with Penelope, and he's talking about sinners. Meanwhile, you're sleeping with a huge ass sinner. Ugh, like, oh, I'm sorry I'm getting off topic, but this has to do with, like, everything, because this is going to follow into season 3. I mean, the fallout from Hal being the Black Hood, because there's no way the writers are just, because I know the writers said that in episode 21, the Black Hood storyline was done with, because Hal was revealed, so, you know, it was kind of over, but that doesn't mean Hal Cooper's storyline is over with. Yes, he's not the Black Hood anymore, but he's still very much alive and present and in prison. And I definitely think we do need to see an Archie and Hal scene, because I think that's very much needed. Now, we had the Betty and Fred scene, and her saying she's so sorry, you know, and he's like, it's not your fault. And she's like, it is, like, I should have known. It was right in front of my eyes. I was supposed to be this great detective, you know, all this stuff. I felt so bad for her. But she had that scene with Fred, so I really think Archie and Hal need to have a scene. And I would like to know why he spared Archie. And also, I would like to know, like, why did he, at the end, decide to have Archie buried? Was it because he knew that the cops were going to come, so he knew Archie wouldn't end up dead? Or is it because Archie just pissed him off when he was on the phone and told him off? Or is it because Mr. Stevenson just decided, you know, I'm going to have you bury Archie? Which clearly this was planned ahead of time, so Hal had to have planned it and then made Stevenson be the Black Hood. knowing that the cops would arrive. So I think he knew Archie wasn't going to die. So that is very interesting why he spared Archie many times. And because, like, Kevin, yes, he didn't kill him. And, like, that's kind of odd because he is gay. And you would think that would be a huge sin to him. But with Archie, it's different because Archie was in so many situations where he could have been killed by the Black Hood, but wasn't. And that says something, you know, that I think that means something. And like I said, I'm going to include the clips and KJ, you know, talking about how Archie and Betty's friendship, you know, relationship kind of beats every relationship on the show. And it really does, in all honesty. I mean, yes, they're endgame in the comics and stuff. And that doesn't mean, oh, they're endgame in the show, you know, just because of the comics. But it is true that, it is true that Archie and Betty have a connection and a friendship, and, like, unlike anybody else, and I mean, yeah, people have their own connections, but for Betty and Archie, it's a different connection. I mean, they did grow up with each other since 4 years old, and next to each other. I mean, they did everything together as kids, I'm sure. I mean, it was obvious that I'm sure they were each other's first crush. Oh my God, could you imagine if we got a scene where, like, they were, like, that scene where he kisses her and asked her to marry him? Like, oh my God, could you imagine seeing that? Like, I feel like of course we're going to get some of the history of Archie and Betty as kids, because Jughead also is going to be involved in that, because I don't think the whole Jughead feeling like a third wheel is ever going to be, like, go away. I think that's always something he's going to feel. He's always going to kind of feel like the third wheel, regardless of how in love he is with Betty and how in love she is with him, and how in love Archie is with Veronica, and vice versa. I think that's always going to be something, like, inside him, you know, like, feeling like a third wheel. I mean, we've seen in season 1 when he's like, oh, you're just with me until Archie changes his mind and wants to be with you and all this stuff. And that, you know, of course, showed the, you know, he was not confident in, you know, being with Betty and also her being best friends with Archie. Not saying that she had to stop, but it's just like, it showed his kind of doubts, like, you should be with Archie, like, you know, like, in a way. But I just feel like Jughead being the third wheel, like, him feeling like the third wheel, is something that's going to continuously go on. And I feel like we're going to get, not saying season 3 for sure, but I feel like we're going to get little Archie and Betty and Jughead, and kind of get at least I hope. I mean, I'd hope we get an inside look into their past. I did read long ago that we are going to kind of get more history of Archie and Betty and Jughead and why he felt like a third wheel. So that leads me to believe we're going to get insight and scenes of them as little kids, which I really would love to see, because it is interesting. I want to see, like, Archie and Betty as kids, and I want to see Jughead, and I want to see, like, that whole friendship, and, you know, maybe Archie and Betty were more close than Archie, Betty, and Jughead, or Archie and Jughead, or Betty and Jughead, you know. I think it was always Archie and Betty, and then, like, Archie and Jughead, and, you know, then Betty and Jughead. But I think it was mostly Archie and Betty best friends, Archie and Jughead best friends. But it would be interesting to see, because I want to see if, when they were kids, if Betty and Jughead were, like, friends, or if she was just friends with him because she was best friends with Archie, and Archie was best friends with Jughead. I don't know. And it'd be interesting also to see how they meet. Like, oh my God, what if we get to see them meet? Like, that would be so amazing. Ah! Like, okay, I'm sorry, but there's a lot to be said about this show, and I can't just, like, I'm sorry, I can't stay on one topic. You guys got to know this by now. If you don't, I am sorry, but this is just me. But, yeah, Archie and Betty, I feel like, I know that. Now, a lot of people are like, Alex Zalaban doesn't know anything about Riverdale, but he only gets to watch the episodes ahead of us and kind of report on it or whatever, you know. But it's like, that don't mean anything. I mean, he still could know some spoilers. Like, you know, he still could know some things. And he had said, and I'm believing it. I don't care. I'm believing it. Because why would he say it if, you know, like, why would he even bring it up? Why would he even say it? But basically, he said that, not season 3, he just said that the window scene with Archie and Betty, where it's like these feelings have long been buried, shook loose, you know, that scene, he said, is going to be explored and explained, and you're going to get more insight into that scene. And he didn't say what season or anything, he just said we will get more insight into that scene, leading me to believe we'll get more, you know, into the kiss, like, hopefully season 3 will be the talk of the kiss. Like, I know Archie's up for murder, but, like, I still feel like, man, I don't know. Like, I hate to doubt myself, because now I'm worried that maybe season 3 is going to be, like, just a lot of drama and Archie and Hiram and that whole fight and Archie trying to get off murder and, like, but then again, it's like, that just can't be the whole show. You know, there's going to be couples integrated in the episodes, in the scenes, and I hope it's not just Bughead and Barchi related. Like, please, let's move on. I don't care if it's Barchi, just Shoney, Phallus, I mean, something. Jughead and Veronica, start their friendship. Hello, I'm really hoping for that. But, yeah, Archie and Betty, I hope with season 3, like, I feel like season 3 would be the perfect time not only to start the triangle, but also address the window scene and address the kiss. Or at least address the kiss. Because you really, if you're going to wait till, like, season 4 to address those two scenes that happened in, like, the beginning of season 2, I'm going to be like, what the fuck? By then, it's like, well, who cares now? Like, I mean, of course I'll still care, but it's like, damn, who cares now? Like, it's been so long, I almost forgot about it, you know? I didn't even think you even cared. I thought it was never going to be brought up again. So, like, season 4 seems a little too far-fetched for them. Because if they're going to address the window scene and the kissing scene, then I don't know if they are the kissing scene, but I'm guessing if they're doing the window scene, then they're clearly going to do the kissing scene and, you know, talk about it, Archie and Betty finally. But, if they're going to be doing that, I feel like season 3 would be the time to do it. And I feel like season 3 would be the perfect time to start the triangle between Archie, Betty, and Veronica. Because that is a triangle that has been said to be the triangle in the show. Archie, Betty, and Veronica. Not Archie, Betty, and Jughead. I mean, it could change, but they have made it clear that the triangle is Archie, Betty, and Veronica. So it leads me to believe that will be the triangle. So, like with Barchi with season 3, I just see that this is just, you know, my vision. I don't know if it's going to come true. I hope it does. But I see, of course, you know, the Hiram and the Archie thing and the South Side and the Serpents and the North Side and the prison being built and all this shady shit with Penelope and Claudius and Penny Peabody and the Ghoulies and, you know, this shit happening. That's, of course, going to be very prominent in season 3. But I also feel like we're going to get more into couples and more hopefully into friendships. I mean, we have heard that like Jellybean's supposed to come back and stuff, so hopefully come back, but is supposed to appear. So hopefully, like in the comics, Jellybean and Veronica do bond in the show, leading her to bond with Jughead, which also would make sense if the triangle was going on, because then Veronica and Jughead could bond over, you know, Archie and Betty and their feelings for each other and how like the Jughead and Veronica are kind of being strung along, basically, at this point, or something along those lines, you know? They can connect on the connection that they don't have, like Archie and Betty do have, you know? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they can connect on the connection Archie and Betty have and, you know, relate to each other and, you know, talk to each other. And I think that also would be a vital part, you know, of the triangle. Maybe by the triangle happening, it would force Jughead and Veronica to kind of become more friends, especially if Jellybean comes into the scene and it does follow the comics and Veronica becomes, you know, close with Jellybean, therefore Jughead. But yeah, so I think season 3, I really think, I really believe that the triangle's going to start. I really believe that we're going to get more into other couples like Shoney and Reggie and Josie and Moose and Kevin and Phallus, maybe Fred Hermione, who knows? Maybe Kevin and Fangs, you know? Of course, I hope we do at least get more into these other couples and kind of, even though, you know, like Shoney has developed pretty quickly, but I'm not complaining. It still needs to develop more, you know? They still are just dating and there's still a long ways to go, and I really hope that if in season 3, you know, it does become so immersed in the whole Hiram and Archie thing, but they do still show couples, that it's not just Bughead and Archie, because I really would like to see, you know, Shoney continue to blossom. I really would like to see FP and Alice, not just saying get together, but like talk, start having more scenes together, start getting more into their history, you know? And then I really want more Reggie. Like, I really want more Reggie Mantle scenes. Like, we have Charles Melton, the perfect Reggie, and we're not using him enough. and I really want him, and I hope we don't get him in season 3 just because, like, he's with Josie. I hope we actually get him because he's just meant to be in the scene, but also is with Josie, you know? Like, yeah, he can be with Josie, but I don't want that to be the only reason he's in the scene. So with season 3, I have hopes for Barchi that the triangle is going to start, that we are definitely going to get more Archie and Betty scenes, maybe some emotional ones. Hopefully the kiss will be talked about and the window scene will be talked about, or at least one of those, which if you're going to talk about the window scene first, that's stupid. You should talk about the kiss first. But I guess, I mean, it makes sense, you know, whatever, do what you want. As long as you talk about one of them. Like, shit, talk about it already. But season 3, I'm going in with high hopes. I believe in the writers. They keep saying best season yet. I truly believe it might be. I'm positive all the way, you know. I'm trying not to doubt myself. I'm just, you know, inside my head, I have the whole play going on. And it's like, I'm just waiting for season 3 and waiting for everything to unfold. But I see promise with Archie and Betty come season 3. I see us developing a lot more. Of course, they're already best friends, but we're going to get more scenes of them as best friends. Maybe some more emotional scenes, like I said. We're going to get scenes of Betty, like, trying to save not just Betty, of course, but Betty trying to save Archie from prison, you know, and that whole emotional moment. And then even if the kiss is talked about or the window scene or both, that's going to be involved. And then the triangle starts, which, if the triangle starts, that's clear that Archie's going to be having scenes with Betty, and Archie's going to have scenes with Veronica, so hopefully Veronica has scenes with Jughead. You know, like, I do feel like season 3 is the perfect time to start the triangle. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to start at the beginning of the season, probably, like, middle of the season, but I feel like season 3 is the perfect time to start the triangle, unless it's, like, season 3 is the takedown of Hiram Lodge, but even then, it's, like, hopefully they still incorporate Shoney and Phallus and all that, so at least we still get, like, something, you know. But I do believe we're going to get Archie and Betty scenes, more of them in season 3. I really do believe that. Whether it be just them two alone or them with Veronica and Jughead or other people, I do think they're going to get more scenes in season 3. I do think the triangle's going to start up in season 3. And yeah, that's really what I see happening with Archie and Betty and with the whole show, basically, in season 3. This is what, like, I kind of think is going on. I mean, like I said, I just believe in the writers. I have high hopes. You know, I'm trying not... Of course, I expect the best, prepare for the worst. But I'm not going to be negative about it. Like, I'm trying to be positive because I have high hopes for Archie. And once you guys, like, hear what KJ said, not that he's saying, oh, they are endgame, they're happening, but just hearing him talk about it and the way he's talking about them and what he says, you know, just instills even more hope in me, and just instills not even more hope because I have so much hope already, but it also puts that, like, kind of idea in my head, like, man, maybe season 3 is going to start the triangle for real. Like, maybe what I'm thinking is going to happen really is going to happen, you know, because I don't know. This is the first time he's really opened up about Archie and Betty Barchi and really gave his opinion on it. And I wonder if that's because season 3 is going to start the triangle. So now he's starting to get in the habit of talking not only about Barchi, but Barchi as well, you know, more than he has before. So I don't know. I think that could be why all of a sudden it's like, I know it was questions asked, and of course he's going to answer, but he answered in so much detail, and he said, I love Barchi, and it's just like, I wonder if now, since he's so very open about Barchi and that he loves them and that, you know, he can't choose just like Archie, that kind of means, like, maybe season 3, the triangle really does start, and that's why he's being so open now about Barchi, so we can get ready for season 3, because I really do believe the triangle starts in season 3. Like, I really do. I mean, I just feel like season 3 for sure is going to have more Archie and Betty scenes. I really do. I feel like we're going to get more scenes of them. I don't know whether it's, you know, we're going to get more scenes of them, and I don't think we'll get to see back into their, like, I don't know if we get a flashback into when they were kids. I think that might be, like, season 4, maybe season 3. I don't know, because maybe the triangle doesn't start, but I think it does. But, like, I know we're going to get a look into their past. Like, I feel like we are. So maybe that will be season 4. But it could happen season 3, you know. But, yeah. So that's kind of what I think is going to happen. I hope that answered your question. I'm sorry this was long. But it's just so many things about Riverdale. And I don't know. I just have this idea in my head for Barchi. And it's not because I ship them and want them together so bad. It's because, I don't know, I just have this feeling about season 3. Like, I feel something. Like, I don't know. And I really believe in the writers, and I'm just hoping for the best. Guys, hope for the best. And thank you for watching this video.
I love Archie. I think, you know, obviously from the comics and stuff, Archie and Betty is, you know, in my mind, from what I've seen, is endgame. And I think it's definitely probably will be a process, or maybe it won't even happen. But, you know, we put in little subtle moments with Archie and Betty, like that you pick up on every now and then, where you can fully see what's going on, and you can see that they have a very, very special relationship that kind of, you know, they've spent their whole lives together almost, which just kind of beats all the other relationships around us. But at the moment, you know, they're just friends for sure. Yeah, and I think Lily's one of the best actors I've ever worked with. Every time I'm in a scene with her, I could say I'm moved by her performance. She brings something new every time, and she can just access emotion like it's nothing. It's so easy for her, which is, you know, a blessing as an actor. Sometimes it can be really hard to access that, but